Hey, boys and girls, it's Miss Brooks here, and I have a story that I want to read to you today or this evening. And I want you to be really, really good listeners because it is an important story about one of our letters. All right. Now, we know all of our letter names and their sounds, and we even know some special things about some of our letters. Okay, so real quickly before we start reading, I'm just going to kind of talk to you about some things we have talked about. Okay, we have 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, and U. Remember, those are the most important letters in the alphabet. They have 2 sounds. Let's talk about their short sounds, okay? Remember, we have those funny faces, so let's talk about A. A says ah, ah, like you're tasting some kind of medicine maybe that doesn't taste good. Then we have E, and it's eh. Remember the elderly person that maybe doesn't hear as well? Eh? And then we have I, the stinky dog, and our nose scrunches because it doesn't smell good. And then we have O, where we say ah, like we do when we go to the doctor and they need to look at our throat. And then we have U. And remember, the little boy is dialing on the telephone and he forgot the number and he went, because he forgot what number he was supposed to dial. All right. And then they have their long sounds. And that's simply where they just shout their name: A, E, I, O, U. All right. So some other letters that we've talked about that do some funny things sometimes. We have T and H, and they get together and they say, "Hey, let's be sneaky. Let's make a new sound." And they say, "Th." Then we have SH. They get together and they say, "Let's make a new sound. Shh," like in fish. We have CH. They get together and they say, "Let's make the sound ch, ch." All right. We have R. Remember R. He's really controlling. He's super controlling and bossy. And anytime he's with a vowel, he's taken over their sound almost. And then we have E. Remember E? He is used a lot in words, and he's real sneaky. Sometimes he doesn't even make a sound, but he scares the vowel and makes the vowel scream their name. Okay? Like in bake, ba-ache. A is screaming her name, and E's at the end not saying a word. Okay? So we have this other letter that we've talked about. You know it. It's Q. And Q says qua. Okay? It says like a K sound and a U sound together. Qua. Or it's actually, I'm sorry, a K and a W together. It's qua, 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 qua. Okay? So this story is about Q. And Q gets married, okay, in our story. So I want you to look at our story. The wedding of Q and U. All right? Our 2 letters get married. Can you believe it? So before we read the story, let's talk about a couple of things we know about a book. Okay? This is stuff we learned very early in kindergarten, and we talk about it all the time. All right, and just to kind of review over it, we have the front cover, we have the back cover, and we have the backbone, and we call that the spine, right? All right, it is written by Daniel Dillon. It's Hirha, I think is how we say it. All right, it is the author. It is the author. The author does what? Could you tell someone at home? They write the words. And the illustrator is Sherry Matthews, and she draws the pictures. She draws the pictures, right? And let's look at the front. Can you tell someone at home, is this fiction or is this nonfiction? If we look at the front of it. Okay, we have the letter Q and U, and we have U back here, and he's got hands, and he's got a face, and he's got feet. Someone else might see some things that they see. We have a cat with a thumbs up. 2 of our letters in the alphabet are getting married. So would this be real or fantasy? I hope you said it would be fantasy, and that would be fiction, because fiction and fantasy are the same. Non-fiction means not fantasy. That would be real. we would probably see photographs, right? We might not have an illustrator. Okay? So let's start our story. Okay. Here we go. It says, one warm sunny day in Syllable City, the letter Q was walking along Alphabet Avenue with some other letter friends. So we have P, S, Q, T, O. Her letter friends joined together to make some words, and they left Q out because the sound of her letter just did not fit into the words. She was sad. Let's look at these words they made. Ops, tops, pots, pots. And let's look at Q. Q did not like feeling sad and lonely, and she walked away feeling quite blue, even though her friends tried to make her stop. Look at the word. Stop. Just as she was walking home along Punctuation Place, Q had a brilliant idea that made her smile, and she decided that she needed a lifetime partner, and this partner would have to be someone who would never leave her feeling lonely. But who would it be? Q thought and thought and thought. She dreamed and dreamed and dreamed. At last, Q figured out exactly which letter she would ask to be her partner. She was so excited. What letter do you think it is? She was on her way to see the letter U, who lived in Vowel Valley. There's A, E, I, O. Who's missing? You see, Q liked the other 24 letters of the alphabet, but U was her favorite. So she asked U to be her partner. U was so flattered that Q asked if she would be her partner. They spent so much time together that they became inseparable. So wherever Q went, so did U. The two letters decided to get married right away. That way, whenever Q was going to be the first letter in a word, U would follow along to make their words really quick. Together, their sound would be unique. Letters from Reader's Road would remember how to read their words. Letters from Speller's Circle would remember how to spell their words. Like quarter. The day of the wedding, all the letters, spellers, and readers were invited to the ceremony. It was a big celebration. The letter Q said her vowels first. I, letter Q, take you, letter U, to be my partner, to stand beside me in every word, in cursive or in manuscript, one syllable or 5, never to let another letter stand between us. I promise to lead you in each word so that all of our words may be spelled correctly, for as long as the English language exists. Then letter U said his vows. He promised, I, letter Q, take you, I, letter U, take you, letter Q, to be my letter partner, to stand beside me in every word, in cursive or in manuscript, one syllable or 5, to never let another letter stand between us. I promise to follow you in each word, so that all of our words may be spelled correctly, for as long as the English language exists. After saying their vowels and exchanging the rings, the mayor of Syllable City pronounced the letters official letter partners. And from that day on, Q and U were to be at the beginning of many important words. And that is why when you see a word that begins with the letter Q, you will be sure to follow. And here's several words that we're going to kind of look at. You may not be able to see them very well. There's quail, quintuplets, quarter, quart, quarter, quarterback, quartet. It's a group of people singing of four. We have quiet, question mark, queasy, queen, quench. That means you stop, or you have if you're very thirsty, something needs to quench your thirst. All right? And then we have quicksand, quill. Before we used pens, people had to use quill, the quill of a feather. Then we have quilt, quarter, quotation marks, quotient, quiz, and quintuplets. Okay? That is the story of the wedding of Q and U. All right? So whenever we're talking about spelling words like quit, and we hear qua, it's a K and a W sound together. It's not the letters K and W. It's just their sounds. Qua. But the letters we write are Q and U. And remember, they're married now. So when you see Q, U has to come right behind them, and nothing can come in between them. No other letters. So right when you put Q down, remember to put the letter U, okay? All right. I hope y'all are having a great day, and I hope you have a good night. And thank you so much for listening, okay? All right. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.